If you've ever wanted to play anything on the 7-string guitar, but you've never known how to get started, then you've come to the right place. In this video, we're going to learn 7 riffs for the 7-string guitar. These riffs range from beginner to more intermediate riffs, so there's something here for everyone, whether you're a complete novice to having that extra string on your guitar, or whether you can already play guitar, but you just want to transition into 7-string, there's something in this video that's going to help you. So all of the riffs, like I said, range from really easy to some slightly more tricky stuff, all using that low B string. Now, the 7-string guitar has an additional string. It's a B string. So it's tuned the same as a regular guitar from this string down. So we've got E, A, D, G, B, E. So that's standard tuning, but then we've also got this low B on the bottom. So for me personally, I've played 6-string guitar for over 20 years. So transitioning to a 7-string has been a little bit of a minefield, to say the least. I have always based every bit of knowledge I have on the guitar around my low E string telling me where to go. Now that my low E string is not the lowest string on the guitar, my brain is struggling to connect the dots with the theory that I know and the ideas that I know versus what this guitar is telling me. Let's say we're playing chords. If I'm going to play a G chord on a regular 6-string guitar, my hands automatically go to this position. I've instantly gone to my low string on the 3rd fret because in my head, that's where my G note is. But if I play this chord, there's something wrong there. Because the notes I'm playing don't correspond with the chord, I actually need to bring my fingers to the next strings down to actually have it on the E and A strings respectively. So that's one of the challenges I faced because my reference points have now moved. So you may face similar problems when you start with the 7-string. Before we continue with this video, I know that nearly 98% of the people who watch my channel are not currently subscribed. So if that's you and you're enjoying this video or any of the other videos I make, please consider subscribing to the channel. Subscriptions help the channel to keep on growing and helps me to keep making videos like this. So if you enjoy this video and any of the other videos that I do make, please subscribe and please give the video a like. Now let's get back to it. The next question you're probably going to ask is, why would I need a 7-string? So if you've come to this video, you either already have a good reason why you need a 7-string or you're looking for a reason to try one out. So the 7-string has been around for a while. They're known as extended range guitars because they extend the low notes outside of the standard guitar tuning spectrum. So 7-strings really became popular in the mid-90s. Steve Vai was one of the first players to kind of utilize a 7-string in rock and metal music. And then where they really became popular was with the kind of dawn of the nu metal era. So around about 1993, 1994, you had bands like Korn coming out, Limp Bizkit and all the bands in that scene that were basically tuning the guitars much lower. Now, when you tune a guitar low, you lose string tension, so you can either go to really heavy gauge strings or a baritone, or what some bands are doing, like Korn, for instance, they were utilizing 7-string guitars. So this would allow you to have that extra low note while still maintaining the tension and feel of a regular guitar without sort of super detuning the strings or using really high gauge strings. This is a great way to kind of get those low tones without changing the feel of the guitar too much other than a little bit of extra neck width. So the guitar that I'm using in this video is this Schecter Omen Elite 7. Now I've had this guitar on loan for a while from the guys that look after Schecter in the UK. So this isn't actually a sponsored video. They didn't lend me this guitar for the purpose of making this video. This has been here for a while for some other videos I was commissioned to do. But this is the guitar I'm using for today. This is a really great, fairly affordable 7-string. These come in at just under £1,000 in the UK. It's not the cheapest place to start with a 7-string, but if you're looking for a really solid one that you can take out and play to death, you know, this is a great model. I really like what Schecter are doing, and they make some really high quality instruments. So this thing is in this finish that they call charcoal, even though it's it's more of a brown finish. It's got this burl top on there. It's a mahogany body, so it's a good weight. We've got a maple neck, even though it's stained to this like kind of dark, kind of charcoaly grey colour with a rosewood fretboard on the top. And obviously, as you can see, we've got 7 strings on this thing, so everything is a little bit wider than what we'd normally expect. So as I mentioned, that low string that you saw is tuned to a B, but then from there on we've got E, A, D, G, B, E, as as we'd expect from standard tuning. So because this guitar has that extended range, and obviously we want to keep the tension in that low B string, this is actually a slightly longer scale length. This is a 26.5-inch scale length, so it's slightly longer than like your typical Fender style scales. This just keeps everything feeling a little bit tighter in those low tunings. This comes stock with 9 to 62 gauge strings. I personally would probably like something a little bit thicker on the bottom just to dig in a bit more, but this comes stock with a 62, but obviously if you went up a gauge, you know, you could go to like a 10 to maybe a 65 or something along those lines if you want a little bit of extra tension in the string. On top of that rosewood fretboard, we've got 24 extra jumbo frets. The neck profile is what they call a thin C. Now you do tend to find with 7-string guitars, the necks are often quite thin because of the extra width. Now what we don't want is too much bulk at the back of the neck because we've got that extra width on the front. This neck actually has, you can't really see it on camera, but this part of the neck here, which is typically curved, actually feels slightly flatter on this neck, purely because of the extra width. It shaves off some of the extra bulk in the middle, so it's kind of a C shape with a flat peak, so it does kind of sit in the hand quite nice. Took me a while to get used to that neck shape. This is a bolt-on, but it's got 5 bolts because obviously we've got a little bit of extra tension there, and it's a string through. On top of the guitar, we have 2 Schecter Diamond Heretic pickups and a 5-way selector switch. The 5-way switch just does a couple of different coil tapping options. The 2nd and 4th positions are different split coil variants, and then the 5th, 3rd, and 1st positions are just neck humbucker, both, and bridge humbucker as standard. The bridge on this thing is a Schecter custom hardtail bridge, 7 adjustable saddles there so you can intonate each string, master volume, master tone. Aside from the guitar, I'm also using the Hughes & Kettner Black Spirit 200 as my amp today. That's currently running on the lead channel with quite a bit of gain because I'm playing some heavy stuff. We'll be doing some clean stuff later on as well. That is going via the 2-notch Torpedo Captor X, where I'm running a cabinet emulation of a Marshall 4x12 style cab, and then straight into my DAW. Alright, so let's get started. Let's learn 7 riffs for the 7-string guitar. So all of the tabs for these riffs are available via my Patreon, which is down below in the description. You can hit that link. Support the channel over on Patreon. It really helps the channel to keep growing and for me to keep making content like this. Here we go. Let's learn 7 riffs. The first riff we're going to learn is from the Nickleback song, Burn It to the Ground. Alright, so this is a great rock riff that really uses that low B string to its full effect. So we're starting off by playing the low B string twice, open, 15 and 12, open and 12. That's kind of the groove that we're playing here. Then we're playing it twice more, but we're slightly modifying it each time. So on the second time, we're only playing 1 open at the start. And then on the third time, we're not playing that final 12. We're ending on that open. And then we've got this little rhythm fill at the end of that, where we're playing 10, hammer onto the 12 on the B string, to the 10 of the E. And then we're pulling off from the 12 to the 10 on the B string and playing the 12 on the E. So let's put that together now. Then on the second repeat of the riff, it starts off the same. But then there's a different rhythm fill. So this time we're going 12 to the 14 with a hammer on the E string, 12 of the A. Then we're playing 14 pull off 12 on the E, 15 on the B. You can slide down to the 10 if that's easier, because it's the same note, but I prefer to go to the 15 on the B. So then the riff is just those 2 variations combined. So let's play through that slowly. And then once more at full speed. Riff Riff number 2 is the bridge riff from the Trivium song Down from the Sky, and it goes like this. So this riff is not only a really cool 7-string metal riff, but it's also using some different time signatures. So the riff is actually in 3/4 time. There's a bar of 2/4 at the end though. So really the principle for this riff is actually not as hard as it sounds. So we're starting off by playing 7, 5, 7 on the E string, followed by 3 open Bs. The first one of those opens is played completely open, and then the second and third ones are played with a palm mute. So we're getting this dampening effect. Playing that 3 times. You could view this just as 8th notes, but we're just playing 3 groups of 2/8 notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Then, once we've played that 3 times, we're coming to the 2nd fret on the B, and we're playing 2, 3, 5. We're playing each note twice. Same rhythm again. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Then we're keeping the same rhythm in mind, but we're coming to the 3rd fret of the E string. We're playing 3, 2, 3, and then the opens are this time on the E string. Same thing, we're letting the first one ring, and then we're dampening the 2nd and 3rd. To the A string, 5, 4, 5, and 3 opens. Same rhythm again. Then we've got our bar of 2, 4. We're sliding to the 7 in the A, and then playing the 4. And that's just 1, 2. So let's play through that slowly. And then once again at full speed. The third riff we're going to learn is from the Lacuna Coil song Our Truth, and it sounds like this. This is a really cool riff. It's full of groove. We're starting with the open low B string twice, followed by the 7th fret of the E string. There's a bit of a groove to that as well, so it's not straight. Then we're playing the open B again, but this time we're doing a power chord on the 8th fret of the E. Then we're playing that 7 again on the E and sliding it up to the 8. Up and down twice like that, so 7, 8, 7, 8. Then we're repeating that 3 times. And then the 4th time, we're starting off the same with the 2 open Bs and the 2 7th frets on the E. Then we're playing 2 open Bs again, coming to a 1st fret power chord on the B. Open B once more, and then the 3rd fret on the E. Playing that with a very kind of quick movement. But when we hit that 3rd fret, we want to give it a little pinch harmonic. And a little slight bend as well. So here's how that riff sounds put together slowly. more at full speed. Alright, the fourth riff we're going to learn is actually not strictly a 7-string guitar riff, but it's a really fun song to play on a 7-string. This is the Ballad of John Henry by Joe Bonamassa. Now, the original for this was actually recorded on a baritone guitar, but a baritone guitar is essentially a 6-string guitar in B standard. Now, the strings we need to play this riff are the lowest strings, B, E, A, and D, which is what the lowest 4 strings of a baritone would be tuned to. So we can play this on a 7-string, just a really fun riff to learn that utilizes that low B string. And it goes like this. So this riff has a great swing and groove to it. So we're starting off with that open low B again. Then we're playing 7-5-7 on the E string. Then going to the low B again. Then we're playing this dyad shape, which is the 5th fret of the A string and the 4th fret of the D, and we're sliding into that. And then we're playing 7-5-7 on the E again. Then we're playing open low B, 7-5-7 on the E again. Then that open B again. Then a 3rd fret power chord on the B string and a 5th fret power chord. So the real thing with this riff is the groove. It's getting that swing to it. You'll notice the phrasing of how I play the 7-5-7 run on the E string is slightly different each time. The first time it's got a bit of a swing to it. The second time it goes, and the third time it's a little bit quicker. So that's slightly different each time. So you've always got to remember that when you're playing this riff. So here's how this one sounds in full slowly. And then at full speed. Riff number 5 is a clean picking riff. This is the intro riff for A Change of Seasons by Dream Theater. So this riff has a couple of challenges. It's a big stretched riff. There's a lot of big stretches there from the 2 to the 5. And obviously the picking accuracy needs to be spot on here because it's a clean riff. So starting this riff off with the open low B, followed by the 2nd fret on the A and D strings. Then I'm reaching up to the 5th fret on the D and playing that. So it's a big stretch there to start. The next bar is the same thing, but I'm playing the 4 on the D. Then I'm playing open, 2 on the A, and I'm hammering on to the 5 of the A before playing the 2nd on the D. So that's quite a tricky bar. Now the 4th bar is open B, 2 on the A, 5 on the A, slide up to the 7. So there's quite a lot going on in those first couple of bars. So let's just recap those. Once I get to that point, I'm then playing the 5th fret on the E string, the 7th on the A and the open D. I'm picking it like that, E, A, D, A. Take that down 2 frets, so you're playing 3, 5 and open. An E power chord. Then we're going to play this thing that looks a bit like a G. So we're playing the 3rd of the B, the 2nd of the E and the open D string. And give that final note on the low B string a little quarter tone bend. So that run down again. So that's the first pass of the riff. So let's just play through that once more, just so we've got that first pass in our head. The second pass is exactly the same thing, but instead of playing that G shape at the end, I'm just playing a 1st fret power chord here on the low B. It's the same riff, but with that ending. So the second ending is this. So now let's put all that together slowly. And then once more at full speed. The 6th riff we're going to learn is Hands in the Air by Joe Satriani. This is a bit more of a classic rock sounding riff, but it sounds great with that low B string. So this riff starts with a small pickup bar, which is just the open 3 open on the low B. This happens on the and of 3. So if we're counting in 1, 2, 3, and on the and then we go into the main riff, which starts on the 1. So this riff starts on the A string. We're playing the 2nd fret on the A with some vibrato twice, and then an open A, and then the 2nd fret again. And then the 3rd on the B and an open B. Then I'm playing 4 open low B notes. The first one is not palm muted, and this starts on the and of 1, because that previous open string I played at the end of the first bar overhangs the 1 beat of the second bar. So it's and 2 and 3. Notice I left the first one ring, and the 2nd, 3rd and 4th ones are all palm muted. And then I'm playing open 3 open and 4 and, exactly the same as you did at the start of the song. The riff repeats for a second time. On the 3rd repeat, you'll notice I went to that 2nd fret there instead of the 3rd fret. So it's the same idea, but I'm just going 2 instead of 3. Then, instead of going like this on the 4th time, We're not playing that riff this time, we're going, which is the 2nd fret of the B string with 3 bends. Notice on that 3rd bend, I made a point of releasing the bend. So you can really hear that. 2 more opens. And then back to that chug bar. And there's the entire riff. So let's play that slowly. And then here's that once more at full speed. Alright, so the 7th and final riff we're going to learn is the song Blind by Korn. Now, Korn actually tuned down with a 7th string. So what I've done for this is I've just dropped my low B string down to an A. Everything else is the same, but we're only going to be playing this riff on 1 string anyway. Korn actually tuned everything down a full step. So it's D, G, C, F, A, D, which is standard tuning down a whole tone with an A in the bass. I'm actually playing standard tuning, so E, A, D, G, B, E with an A in the bass. Otherwise known as drop A tuning on a 7 string. But we're going to be focusing everything on that low A string today. So this riff is a great fun riff, and it sounds like this. Now this riff has a lot of repetition in there, but the reason I played that for so long is because there are 2 different things that happen in that riff that are slight deviations of just playing the riff straight. The first of which is a really weirdly timed stop, and the second thing is a slight rhythmic change. So the riff that we're going to be playing essentially 12 times is going to be this. On the low A, open 2, open 3, same thing again. So basically playing open 2, open 3 twice. Then we're coming to the 6th fret and playing that 4 times. That's the riff, okay? But the weird thing with this riff, this is the thing that makes this slightly tricky to play, is those 2 little variations. So we play the riff 4 times. And you'll notice that little stop that happens between repeat number 4 and repeat number 5. If we're to put that rest as a bar of music, it would be a bar of 3/16 time, which is as weird as it sounds. It's basically 3/16 notes. So imagine we're playing 4/4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. We're stopping for 1 E and we're straight back in. So it's 3/16 notes, 1 E and 1. So it's quite a weird timing. So really the kind of trick with that is just to listen to the record and kind of memorize the length of it rather than try and count it. Then the other thing is on repeat number 9. So when we come back in after the stop, we do the riff 4 more times. On repeat number 9, instead of going, we play 4 open strings at the start. Let's play that again. So it's the same basic idea, but we've twisted it slightly. So this one is quite easy to play anyway, so I don't need to do a slow playthrough of this one, but I'm going to play through it again in full for you right now. you go. There are 7 7-string guitar riffs that you can learn right away. If you're brand new to 7-string, or if you're looking to make that transition from 6 to 7, there are 7 cool riffs to get you kick started. Like I said earlier on in the video, if you're looking for the tabs for these riffs, you can scroll down to the description, hit the link for my Patreon page, and all the tabs are going to be over there for you as well. Let me know down below in the comments how you got on with these 7-string riffs and what your favorite 7-string guitar riffs are. If you're new here, please consider subscribing to the channel because subscriptions really help the channel to keep on growing. And while you're down there, don't forget to hit the like button as well. Thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I'll see you very soon.